Welcome to the Explainer. So chances are you've used a DeFi app, right? You've swapped a token, maybe chased some yield. But today, we're going to pull back the curtain. We're not just looking at the app, we're looking at the actual blueprint engineers use to build these incredible, complex financial machines from scratch.
So here's the plan. We're going to follow that blueprint piece by piece. We'll start with the money engine, then talk about surviving the hidden dangers, build out the user experience, and finally, look at what it takes to actually get this thing out into the wild.
All right, let's get right into it. If you really want to get DeFi, you have to stop thinking like a user and start thinking like a builder. We're heading into the engineer's workshop, and trust me, this is where all the magic and all the complexity really lives. You know that simple swap button you click? Well, behind that single click is a whole universe of engineering. I mean, to build the machine that makes it work, you've got to solve some seriously tough problems around managing money, handling risk, and protecting the whole system from all kinds of hidden attacks. Okay, so first things first, let's tackle the heart of any DeFi app, the money engine. The big goal here? It's all about making every single dollar work as smart and as hard as it possibly can. And this right here, this shows you just how far we've come. The old way, those classic 50-50 pools, it was kind of like trying to spread a tiny bit of butter across an endless piece of toast. Almost all of your capital was just sitting there, doing nothing. The new way? It's so much smarter. It's all about putting your money exactly where the trading is actually happening. And this brilliant idea is called concentrated liquidity. So instead of your money covering every price from 0 to infinity, you, the liquidity provider, get to pick a super specific price range. And what does that mean? It means way less capital can do way more work, which means you earn way more in fees. It's an absolute game changer, for real.
I love this analogy. It's perfect. Why would you cast your net across the whole ocean hoping a fish just happens to swim by? No way. A smart fisherman and a smart DeFi builder, they go right to where the fish are. You focus your resources where they'll have the biggest possible impact. Okay, so that's the obvious next question, right? How in the world do you know which patch of water to fish in before you commit your money? Well, here's the thing. The pros don't guess. They use data. They literally simulate the past to get a better handle on the future. This whole process is called backtesting. It's pretty cool. They grab a bunch of historical price data and then they run their strategy against it, kind of like a test run. Then they check the results. Did we make enough in fees to cover the risk? This lets them tweak and perfect their entire approach before a single real dollar is deployed.
All right, so you've built this amazing, super efficient money engine. Fantastic. But it's totally worthless if it's not safe. So the next critical step in our blueprint is to build the armor. We've got to create defenses against all the hidden dangers lurking out there in DeFi. And if you've ever borrowed anything in DeFi, you know this number. This number is everything. When your health factor starts creeping down towards 1, you are getting dangerously close to the edge. It's the point of no return where your collateral could just disappear.
Basically, the health factor is just a safety score for your loan. The system is always checking, is the value of your collateral enough to cover the value of your loan? If that score drops below 1, boom, the protocol can automatically sell off your stuff to pay back the debt. So for a builder, their job is to make the system super clear and super solid to protect everybody. But it's not just about market crashes. There's another, sneakier danger that's baked right into the blockchain itself. It's called MEV, maximal extractable value. You can think of it like an invisible tax that super smart bots can charge you without you even realizing it.
And one of the classic examples is the sandwich attack. It's wild. Here's how it goes. A bot sees your buy order coming. In a split second, it jumps in front of you and buys the same thing, which pushes the price up just a tiny bit. Then your order goes through at that slightly higher price. And right after, the bot sells, making a tiny profit. You just got sandwiched, and you paid the price.
So how do you fight back? Well, builders actually build in some simple but really powerful defenses. When you set your slippage, you're basically saying, hey, if the price moves too much, just cancel my trade. That stops the sandwich attack in its tracks. And setting a deadline on your transaction makes sure it can't get stuck and used against you later.
And that's not all. A truly safe app has layers of defense. We're talking about using private channels to hide your trades from those bots, breaking up big orders so they're not such a juicy target, and being really careful with token approvals to limit the damage if something ever goes wrong. It's a whole security mindset. Okay, The engine is powerful, the defenses are strong. Now builders can finally focus on the part that you and I actually see, the user experience. This is where they make the app not just work, but feel powerful and easy to use.
A huge piece of the puzzle these days is being able to move your stuff between different blockchains, right? To make sure that's safe, builders will use what are called canonical bridges. Think of these as the official, most secure highways between blockchain ecosystems. When you're moving your money, security is everything. Another cool part of the user experience is how they create loyalty. A lot of platforms do this with their own token. So for example, if you hold a bunch of the platform's token, you get a bigger and bigger discount on fees. It's a really smart way to reward people who are in it for the long haul.
But it's more than just a discount. It's actually a really clever economic design. It aligns everyone's incentives. When you hold the token, you're not just a user anymore, you're a stakeholder. You actually want the platform to succeed, and that creates a much stronger community and a healthier ecosystem for everyone.
All right, we're at the final stage. And honestly, this might be the most important part of the whole blueprint. This is the moment you go from a finished app to live code that's handling real people's money. This is the final critical checkpoint.
So before they flip the switch, there's a whole pre-launch checklist. They add a time lock so no one can just push through a malicious update instantly. They assign guardian roles, basically trusted people who could hit the pause button in an emergency. And yes, they design an emergency kill switch as a last resort. Plus, they double-check all the gas costs and set up round-the-clock monitoring to catch anything weird immediately.
Because when you're about to go live, it's not about features anymore. It's about responsibility. It's about understanding that you're in charge of other people's money, and your number one job is to plan for the worst-case scenario. You have to make the system as bulletproof as you possibly can.
So when you think about it all, from the crazy math of concentrated liquidity to the cat and mouse game of defending against MEV, all the way to the heavy responsibility of building in a kill switch, you realize that building in DeFi is an incredibly serious engineering discipline. So yeah, the next time you click that swap button, maybe you'll see it a little differently. You'll know just how much goes into the machine working behind the scenes.